Well, let's do appearances first. Do we have a guardian ad litem?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Nicole Underwood, lawyer, guardian ad litem for the minor children.
Ms. Saja Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Latour.
Megan Latour, foster care worker.
Michael Brooks, I'm the attorney for Dustin King, the father. Dustin,
Dustin King, the father.
I apologize. Ariel Berger here on behalf of Dustin King Jr.
Thank you. All right, any opening comments from our attorneys? Ms. Underwood, I typically would take your report first, but given the request for termination, I've been inclined to ask you to wait till you've heard everything, but it's up to you.
I'm happy with waiting until the end, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, any other preliminaries then?
yes, Your Honor, I'm asking that my client's doctor be taken out of sequence as a courtesy to him. I'm sure he has a very busy schedule.
Your Honor, I have no objection to that particular request. However, I would have concern about witnesses that are being presented today, as we did not receive any witness or exhibit list for the termination hearing. I cannot think of the court rule off the top of my head, but I want to say it's MCR 3.976, which deals with permanency planning hearings. And I believe that if there are going to be a presentation of witnesses, then we are to be notified ahead of time.
Your Honor, I know the rules as well as counsel does, but I didn't know these witnesses were going to be requested till very, very late.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Brooks. Why don't you give us a little preview, if you will, and offer proof as to what the doctor will be testifying to?
Well, the doctor, as you're well aware, Mr. King has some brain conditions, a tumor, and the doctor's here to discuss its effects and his prognosis of how he is presently doing and will be doing in the future.
Mr. King, you're really going to have to refrain from your commentary because it's interruptive and distracting, and I'm going to have to ask you to leave the room if it continues. You're warned.
Apologize.
Thank you. Responses from our other attorneys? Ms. Berger, Ms. Underwood?
Your Honor, I'm not sure.
This is what I'm talking about, Mr. King.
Hello, do you want me to comment now about his brain tumor or? This is Dr. Nasrat, I'm the neurologist.
Yeah, we're not ready for you yet, doctor. Just a moment.
Oh.
Ms. Berger.
Your Honor, I'm not aware of the relevance as it relates to the petition for termination and as it relates to the services that Mr. King has been made available to and hasn't completed and his ability to parent.
Ms. Underwood?
I would agree with that, Your Honor.
Okay, well, we're gonna allow it for limited purposes of how it may have affected his performance in the last report period and whether or not it will continue to affect his lack of performance moving forward as documented in our anticipated court report and because this is a termination trial. Mr. Brooks, who are your other anticipated witnesses?
My client's mother, and as far as I know, that's the only one who's appeared.
Burl Street.
Mr. What's his name?
Dorio.
What's his name?
Mr. Burl.
Burl?
Berl. Burl Dorio.
Who's here to testify as to the quality of my client's parenting.
And my health.
At this point, I
Okay,
just
I'm
ask that any potential witnesses be sequestered.
Okay, Mr. Dorio, if you could step into the hallway, we'll let you know when it's your time to testify. Thank you.
And the client's mother.
And yes, thank you, Mr. King's mother. I didn't catch your name.
Sir, I've got to listen to what he's telling me. I just have to.
So, Mr. Brooks, is that the person sitting behind you? Because I'm not sure she heard.
And you've got to wait in the hall.
I gotta wait now.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. All right, any other objections to taking the testimony of the doctor first?
None, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay. Mr. Brooks, this is your witness, Deputy Ames.
Dr.
Nazareth.
Swear.
Dr. Nazareth, please.
Doctor, does your camera There we
Yeah, I
go.
think. Mhm,
Thank you. Can you
Yeah.
raise your right hand, please, sir?
Sure.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah, I swear I will say the truth, nothing more than the truth.
Doctor, is your name spelled correctly on the bottom of your screen there?
Yes, last name Nasrat, first name Tufik, Taofik.
Thank you. Mr. Brooks.
Doctor, are you professionally acquainted with my client, Dustin King?
Can you say it again, sorry?
Pardon me, Your Honor, or pardon me, sir?
He couldn't hear you.
Oh,
Yeah, I cannot hear you very well.
are you acquainted with my client, Dustin King?
I'm his neurologist, but I really don't understand your question. What was your question, sorry?
That's what you said.
Yeah. Do you know my client?
Yes, he's my patient.
All right.
Mhm,
Through a lot of court hearings,
mhm,
my client has testified
mhm.
that he has a brain tumor which affects his ability to function from time to time. Can you tell us whether or not you have found he has a brain
So basically what he has, Mr. King, are you okay if I talk, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So,
Everything
thanks. So we did MRI to his brain, and what he has just a brain cyst. It's a benign brain cyst. It's not a cancer. We're not to go to cancer, okay?
And what would you expect to be the consequence? What would you expect to be the result of suffering with this brain cyst?
So he could be completely normal from this brain cyst, so it may not affect him at all. However, it may give him headaches from time to time. And if it gets larger and larger, he may get like weakness, seizures, things like that. But at this time, I really don't think it will affect him.
Do you believe it has affected him in the past?
You mean in terms of his, I don't think it's affecting him significantly in the past, okay, apart from some headaches, things like that.
So,
Doctor, could you just slow down just a little bit for our court reporter? Thank you.
Yeah. So I said this is a benign cyst, okay? Now, this cyst usually causes no symptoms, but sometimes it can give him seizures, weakness, and this is like rare possibilities, okay? Now, when he comes to my clinic, because he feels forgetful, and also he said he gets staring off. So there's a possibility this is small seizures, but when I did the EEG, everything came back negative, but still cannot completely rule out small seizures. Otherwise, I don't think it will affect him if he doesn't get seizures, if he doesn't pass out.
anything else you want me to ask him?
It was an acronoid cyst, and I got 2 frontal lobe matters, and I've been taking care of it with baking soda and lemon water.
I have no further questions.
Okay, so
Any, one moment, Doctor. Any other attorneys have questions for this witness?
I do not. Thank you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
I just have one. So doctor,
Mhm.
is it accurate then that this tumor should not affect his ability to parent his children?
yeah, I don't think it will affect that at all. Now,
Thank
I don't
you.
know.
That's the only question I have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So am I good to go? I have patient with.
Any objections to the doctor being excused?
I want to ask him one more question, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
My client says he is scheduled for something called a 96-hour
EEG, yeah.
study.
Mhm.
When is that scheduled?
So that's, I don't know. We have like a partner company that work with insurance and work with the patient. So it's based on when the insurance get it approved and when the patient has good time.
All right. So at this point, it has not been scheduled. Is that right?
Because they want to do it home.
I would ask Mr. King. Mr. King, was it scheduled or not yet?
Mr. Nazareth, or Doctor, he'll have to testify on his own. Right now, it's just for your testimony, so we can.
Yeah,
get
then
to
the
that.
right answer, I don't know if it's scheduled or not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
have no further questions.
Any questions based on Mr. Brooks's questions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Objections to him being released?
No.
No.
Your Honor.
So I can go, I just have patience, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, thank you. You guys have a good day.
You too.
Two.
Okay, so let's go back to Ms. Thomas for her witness presentation as we normally would.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask Ms. Latour to be sworn in to provide her report for the review portion.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Ms. Thomas, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Latour, you've provided 2 court reports since we've been in court last. One was very significant in length, and you provided that on, it looks like November 3rd. And then you also did an updated court report that was provided on December 5th. Is that accurate to the best of your recollection?
Yes.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to either report or any of the attachments that you've included?
To let me listen.
Yes, Mr. King has started re-engaging in individual therapy. He attended one session in November, a session on the 9th of this month, and then he is scheduled for another one on 11/23.
Do you mean, I'm sorry, do you mean December 23rd?
Yes, my bad. That
Okay.
was, yes, that was
Nope,
what I meant.
that's okay.
Jeez.
And
Mr. King, outbursts including especially profanity will not be tolerated in my courtroom. That is your second warning. 3 warnings and you're watching from a distance. We'll set you up in a different room so that you too can observe your own trial by Zoom. I can't have you interrupting, and it's very disrespectful for you to interrupt with profanities. Thank you. Go ahead with your next question.
thank you. Do you have any updated reports from the therapist?
I do not. She was not able to provide me one.
Okay, but do you have a release for her?
I do.
Okay, wonderful. And during this review period, how would you generally describe Mr. King's compliance with his case service plan?
I would describe it as minimal, just due to let me phrase this, due to the lack of progress that he did quickly. It was only in the recent weeks that he started engaging more often. We had attempted to schedule multiple team meetings with him before the previous court hearing. And it wasn't until recent that he attended one and was there on time.
And at this time, is there any change? Well, let's just kind of go through some of the basic things from the court report as it relates to contact with you. How is that going during this review period?
He does return text messages in a timely manner. While it's not always quick, it does get returned within, I'd say, 48 or 72 hours.
Okay.
And email wise, he does return them pretty quickly.
Okay. And has he initiated any contact with you to like ask what services are needed, if referrals are being followed through, or how the children are doing?
Not during this reporting period, no.
It looks like there was a rescheduled hearing in November As it relates to criminal matters or civil infractions or anything like that, your report gives us, the first one from November, gives us some details on that. Do you have any updates about that criminal matter that was pending?
I do not, as it is not scheduled until the 17th.
Okay,
Or
so it got
after-
adjourned again?
Yes.
And this would be from a violation of a PPO or a domestic violence, is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Have there been any appointments that Mr. King would have been permitted to attend during this review period for the children?
No, due to his suspension of parenting time.
And are you still providing him with like the medical passports that are updated regularly?
We send them over email to him.
That's-
How would you describe his participation or engagement with the psychological recommendations or the recommendations from a psychological evaluation?
I would say that they've been very minimal, as it is
Sir, you
still
gotta let me listen to her.
still unclear if he has scheduled the psychiatric evaluation that was recommended in there. And due to the gap in individual counseling. And he has not shown the 6 months of stability that was recommended in there.
As it relates to drug screens, there's no concern there, correct? Like there's no concerns of substance use for Mr. King?
Correct.
Okay. And for parenting education, has there been any update in any classes he's taken or any referrals made for that element?
I had made a referral back in October for Care Pregnancy Center. I am unsure if they had been able to reach him or not. And when I attempted to get some clarification, she had not answered me.
And I'm sorry, did you say you made that referral in September?
October.
October, okay. Did you provide Mr. King with any contact information for him to initiate that contact with Care Pregnancy Center?
I did, yes.
One of the main issues for this case has been domestic violence. Has there been any, do you believe that there's been any resolve to that issue or that concern?
I do not believe that there's been any resolve, as he's still attending court for it. He has not completed any domestic violence education courses that have been recommended to him during this reporting period. And the last time that I knew, he was still contacting Ms. Miller.
I'm going to kind of backtrack just a minute here. You had mentioned that in the psychological evaluation, there was recommendation for 6 months of stability. Can you refresh our memories as to what that 6 months of stability was related to or why that was part of the recommendation?
Yes, give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. So
Can you
that
just
I-
let us know what document you're referring back to?
I am referring back to the psychological evaluation report that was provided by Dr. Park.
Wait, that's fine. We just need to know for the record that you're refreshing your memory.
Yes, it was for him to provide a 6 months of mental stability with no hospitalization or and not displaying any in their words, psychotic behavior, along with the goals that they had stated above.
And was that in reference to what would need to occur for them to recommend parenting time again?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, are you aware of any different location where Mr. King is living?
I am unsure
Okay.
of where he is living currently.
Okay. And do you know if he's employed?
I am unsure. I do know that he receives SSI benefits.
Okay.
And his amount is around $300, if I remember correctly.
And do you know what that is for? Like
It's
what disability?
it's related to his previous brain injury, if I remember correctly.
To the best of your knowledge, what are Mr. King's diagnoses or limitations that would impair his ability to understand what is happening in court proceedings or with his foster care case management?
I have not received any diagnoses that would affect his parenting skills.
And so the prior brain injury, has he ever indicated that he needs additional reminders for appointments or needs you to read out loud any documents that are provided to him?
He has not to me. I do not know if he has done so in the past.
Okay. And so just to summarize your testimony as it relates to this review period, Mr. King's compliance with his case service plan has been minimal, and it started within the last few weeks, and mostly that's related to engaging in therapy. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then as it relates to the children, can you just provide us with a brief update on how they're doing? And again, we're on YouTube, so please don't use names, but if you can just kind of let us know how they're doing and anything else that you think the court should know.
Junior is doing very well. He's been enjoying his new school, has been working with a counselor himself, and reports that he enjoys those sessions. And that he's been able to get proper medical and dental care, and has started having less frequent bathroom accidents at nighttime. The oldest of the youngest three is doing well. He's been doing very well in school. There have been less outbursts, and I was able to do a home visit yesterday with them, and he was all smiles. He was super happy. They were planning on putting up a Christmas tree, so he was excited about that. The middle of the younger three, he's also doing well. Head Start has been going very good. He's continued to be engaged in speech therapy, and his speech has improved remarkably, even since I started the case. And then NK, she's such a bright, happy girl. She's incredibly loving. She just has been doing very well in placement and continues to thrive.
Thank you for that. Is the youngest one, NK, is she in any type of like daycare or early education setting?
She is participating at Trenton Hills. She's in, I want to say it's either, I think it's once a week. She goes there and she's able to get some social interactions with children her age. But because of how she's progressed, they were working on transitioning her to another group for children her age.
Wonderful. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Latour and would just ask the court to accept the court reports and the updated report that has some attachments for ICWA, and which indicate that there's no Native American heritage.
There's also a proof of service in here documenting that Mr. King was served with this petition on November 4th, 2025 by Ashley Beach.
She wasn't.
Any objections to the admission of the reports and exhibits?
None.
No objection.
Thank you. They are received. Any questions for this witness, Ms. Berger?
No questions, Your Honor.
Excuse me, my client's just written me a note saying he objects. He did not give me a reason. I'm putting it on the record, so you have it.
Thank you. I don't see any problem with the evidentiary pieces for purposes of the review, PPH and consolidated termination petition, and I'm receiving them. Mr. Brooks, do you have any questions for this witness?
If I'm following you correctly, ma'am, there's been some progress on the part of my client in the last couple of months. Is that accurate or inaccurate?
Throughout November and into December, yes.
Does it continue to this day?
To my knowledge, yes.
Have you ever done a home study of his home?
No, Mr. King has refused to provide us an address of his most recent living situation.
Have you personally spoken to Mr. King?
I've sent him text, and then any communication between him and my supervisor, I've been included in as well.
Have you discussed his medical condition with his doctor?
Not on the phone. We've received medical documentation from a couple of the hospitals that he's been to, and they've been submitted previously.
And what do they show?
They, from the best of my knowledge and recollection, they show that he reports previously having leukemia, that his cysts are benign, and that he reports that he also has autism.
Let's talk about the autism for a minute. Have you looked into that to see if what he tells you is accurate or not?
I have not looked up anything. I have family members and nephews that have autism themselves, so I'm a little bit more aware of it than needing to look it up. So
has any accommodation been made for his autistic tendencies?
We have sent him over email and text messages a priority list of things that he needs to do. We've attempted to set up multiple meetings with him so that we can talk not just over the phone, but face to face or over Zoom.
Have you been able to conduct those meetings?
The only one that I was able to be a part of and conduct was on 12/4, which is when Mr. King did attend.
I can't hear her. Do you understand?
Somebody's giving me benefit of the doubt.
You've got to follow the procedures of the court.
All right.
May I ask you the question again, please?
Yes, the only time that I've attended and Mr. King has been there was on 12/4.
And what was decided, if anything, at that meeting?
There was not anything decided. We were, meeting with Mr. King to go over his case service plan and, touch base with him about what he was needing help with.
What goals do you have for him to get restoration of his custody of his kids?
I would love to see him participate in that, parenting education that he had been referred to. I want to see him follow the recommendations that had been made in the psychological evaluation. And for him to schedule and participate in that psychiatric evaluation, even if he does not, take any medications. As I know that he is against medication, so that is not.
Do you know if he's been prescribed a medication?
I am unsure.
In any event, do you feel he is appropriate at this time to regain either custody or at the very least parenting time with his children?
I do not.
And why is that?
I have not seen a substantial length of time where he has been engaged in his case service plan, meaning that he has not engaged in individual therapy consistently for multiple months. He is not following the recommendations that were made in the children's trauma assessments or the psychological evaluation. And he is overall not super cooperative when the agency tries to ask him to provide a address for his most recent residence.
Do you know if he's had access to these reports concerning his children?
With the way that he replies to the emails, I would say yes.
When's the last time he's seen his kids?
To my knowledge, it was December of 2024, I believe, or during their trauma assessments.
Could you tell me why his parenting time was suspended?
To my knowledge, it was due to the instability of his mental health.
And as we sit here today, it is approximately the middle of December of 25, right?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Any questions, Ms. Berger?
No questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any questions, Ms. Underwood?
Just to be clear, there has been no engagement in services by Mr. King until November of 2025. Is that correct?
Yes.
And even at that, it's been very minimal.
Yes.
No further questions.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Any recross, Mr. Brooks?
Classes.
No. I don't know what you're trying to show
I'm
me.
saying parenting classes, they're saying I ain't done nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no. No further questions?
No
for this
further
witness?
questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat. Okay, Ms. Thomas, your next witness.
Your Honor, I want to acknowledge the fact that it was Miss Ashley Beach who signed the petition seeking the court to terminate Mr. King's parental rights. And I would typically call her. However, I think that given the fact that this is just part of our review hearing, that Ms. Latour had provided a lot of information and I guess I'm asking the court if it'd be necessary to call Miss Beach. And I know that you can't tell me how to run this trial or this hearing. However, I just want to acknowledge that Ms. Latour is not the person who signed the petition. And so I would look, I guess, to the court or to fellow counsel if they have any objections to me not calling her.
Anyone have any questions for the author of the petition?
No, I would like to respond to what council has said, though. Ashley Beach is the party who I am used to seeing here at these hearings. She's also the one who's conducted family team meetings. And I think if council is not going to call her, I may anticipate calling her as a witness.
You want to lead the charge on that, if you will, Ms. Thomas, or would you like to leave it to Mr. Brooks?
No, I can call her. That's fine. Thank you, Mr. Brooks, for letting me know.
Okay, Ashley Beach, sounds like you're up next.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth altogether?
I do.
Thank you. Ms. Beach, can you just refresh the record on how you are familiar with this matter?
Yes, I have been the supervisor for this case since the children came into care.
And about how long have the children been in care?
They came into care on November 21st, 2024, so a little over a year.
Okay. And you did author the petition that's before the court today, correct?
I did.
Okay. And you've heard Ms. Latour's testimony at today's hearing and in prior hearings as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And is there anything from her testimony that you would like to elaborate on about Dad's compliance with or benefit from his case service plan during this review period?
Not during this review period, no.
Okay. Just to confirm, you have also assisted in securing all of the ICWA documentation, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and there has been no indication that Mr. King or the children are eligible for membership in any tribe? Okay. During this case, what has been the primary concern of the agency?
Domestic violence between Mr. King and Ms. Miller was a primary concern and reason for removal, but also Mr. King's unstable mental health and behavior has also been of significant concern.
And as it relates to the domestic violence component, is there any more information that you think the court needs about why that is still an outstanding concern?
So Mr. King reports that he did previously, before this case was opened, participate in the DBAP program with John Bailey. So that's something he's done in the past, but domestic violence continued to be a concern even after completing that service. We did provide him with information on how to contact John Bailey to re-engage in that service again. However, he has not done so. When we met on the 4th, he said he had already done those classes, so he doesn't feel like he needs to do them again. His participation in individual therapy has been very limited. He's attended, I think, 4 or 5 sessions total throughout this case. So domestic violence could be a focus, but he has not been consistent enough to be able to even touch on that yet.
Is there any indication that Mr. King truly understands the impact that his behaviors have had on his children?
I don't believe so. When we met for our family team meeting on the 4th, he did continue to minimize even the conditions, the living conditions that the children were in when they came into care. So I don't think he's been able to acknowledge the risk to any of the concerns that have been expressed to him about what led to the removal of the kids.
Are you aware if anyone from the agency or another service provider sat with Mr. King or attempted to sit with Mr. King to review the children's trauma assessments with him?
I'm not aware. I do know that they've been provided, and we've met with him a couple of times face to face where we've provided him with documentation, but it is very difficult to have conversations with Mr. King at times. He's talks very fast and jumps from topic to topic and will avoid answering questions, and we'll try to talk to him about certain things. And then he'll have a hard time engaging in conversations that we're trying to have with him. So overall, it's just very difficult to communicate information to him.
And during this case, Mr. King has asserted, I want to say on record, and I'm guessing in meetings with you, and in emails also, that he has some diagnoses like leukemia, brain tumors, autism, ADHD, degenerative joint disease, rheumatoid arthritis, and IBS. Have you received any records to confirm those diagnoses to the best of your knowledge?
He did sign several releases for various providers, and we sent requests for records to all of them. We only received records back from Insight Surgical or Neurology Office and Hillsdale Medical Associates, and none of them have confirmed that those are active diagnoses. When reading the reports, it looks like they're listed as patient-reported diagnoses.
And even if they are patient-reported diagnoses, are you aware of any treatment that Mr. King is doing that would help address or support those diagnoses?
At this time, I'm just aware of that he's being seen by Life Medical Center and Insight Surgical Center to monitor his arachnoid cyst. But we haven't received any documentation from any other providers that he's currently receiving treatment for any of the other reported diagnoses.
Thank you for that. And Mr. Brooks had asked Ms. Latour about the suspension of parenting time. Do you recall why Mr. King's parenting time was suspended?
Yes. I don't have the exact date of that visit in front of me, but it was in December of 2024. There was one specific visit where he was getting accusatory with our staff. He even accused the program director supervising of abusing the oldest LK child. He was recording on his phone. He was discussing case details, talking about how Ms. Miller made him get arrested, and he was arrested a few days prior, and he was unable to be redirected when the staff were trying to change the subject, so he wasn't discussing those types of things in front of the children.
As you are the person who's been involved with this family since the onset, can you tell us a little bit more about what you observe in the children, from where they started at the time of removal to how they are doing today?
Yes, I definitely saw them more frequently in the beginning of the case. That visit in December of 2024 that I just referenced, the oldest LK child was actually biting the program director supervising on the leg. So she had to physically remove him from her leg because he was biting her and trying to get out of the room. I don't like to use this word, but I mean, it's what I think of as they were kind of feral. They were having difficulties eating and toileting, and they were severely delayed in speech and language, and the oldest LK child was delayed across multiple different areas and in services. well, both LK children and the oldest child too, we had more recently found out had a lot of dental decay and needs for dental work. The older LK child actually had to be sedated to have all of his cavities filled and teeth pulled and such. So, and they hadn't been seen by a doctor in a period of time for physicals. So overall very neglected, and behaviorally, there have been struggles throughout this case. The older two children are both in therapy and receive wraparound. The oldest child does struggle with enuresis at night, continues to wet the bed, although that is improving. I think it comes and goes depending on how he's doing and if he's triggered or not. But overall, they came into foster care with a lot of unmet needs and appearing very neglected, and they have made so much progress across the board throughout their time in care.
As relates to the children's best interest, the children are not placed together, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so the oldest is in a licensed foster care home. Is that still accurate?
Yes.
And then the younger three are with a maternal aunt and uncle?
Correct.
Okay. And although this is not a relative of Mr. King, has that relative placement, has Mr. King been able to take advantage of the relative placement, such as getting more frequent updates for them or having a relationship that would in turn support the children and that be a point of resiliency for them?
No, there is no relationship between Mr. King and the current caregivers, so he hasn't been able to take advantage of the fact that they're in a relative placement.
And you've mentioned some of the things that the children had to deal with at the beginning of the case, but as it relates to their status now, do they have any special needs, or whether that's mental health, physical health, behavioral health, that the caregivers have to address on a regular basis?
Yes, the oldest child has experienced a lot of trauma throughout his life. He struggles with enuresis at night. He's also been diagnosed with ADHD. He is receiving individual therapy and participating in therapeutic groups with John Schoonmaker. And he is also receiving wraparound services, which supports the placement as well. He struggles in school, but I think he is doing a better job as of more recently about completing assignments and turning them in. He's also trying to plug into different opportunities at school. He's very outgoing and expressive. And he's improved a lot even since being removed from his mother's care and placed into foster care. He does have struggles with telling like small lies or resisting boundaries. But overall, considering what he's been through, I think he is doing very well. But it does go up and down for him at times. The oldest LK child does continue to have developmental delays and he has an IEP at school where he receives services. He also does have, I would say, the most behavioral concerns out of the children. He has aggressive outbursts and will often, I don't know if it's as often now, like recount past traumatic events. And he's very willing to share with those he trusts. He is, I don't know if individual counseling has started again. His prior therapist left, but he is receiving wraparound services and the caregivers are actively involved in those services. There were some concerns in June about sexualized behaviors that he was demonstrating towards his younger siblings. So there have been safety plans put into place, and a CPS investigation occurred regarding allegations that were made, and the placement continues to make sure that safety measures are in place, so he's not acting out sexually towards his younger siblings, and any concerns are being addressed in services. The middle LK child is doing well overall. He also has a speech and language delay, but he is behaviorally doing okay. He is doing well in Head Start, and I haven't heard any concerns about how he's doing in the preschool setting. And then the youngest child also has some delays, but she's receiving early on services, and then also is going to Trenton Hills for some developmental groups. And she's just a very happy, easygoing child. So I would say that is the current status update of how the children are doing.
Thank you. Do you believe that Mr. King would have the ability to address his children's significant special needs?
I don't believe so.
To the best of your knowledge, does he acknowledge that they even have those heightened needs?
He's acknowledged that the older LK child has autism. But I don't think that we've gotten to the point where he's acknowledged that some of the behavioral and emotional concerns are a result of the things that they've gone through.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to state for the record today?
Just that when we received his psychological evaluation, we did see that his working memory and processing speeds were in the very low ranges. So we have made attempts to keep as much as possible in writing. And we implemented the priority list to write down what he should prioritize, and that includes calling which provider with a phone number, asking him to provide things by a certain date, and then providing him with hard copies of documentation when we can. So we have tried to make those accommodations.
Thank you for that. Your Honor, I have no further questions for Ms. Beach.
Mr. Brooks?
My client states that he's been diagnosed with autism. Are you aware of that?
Yes, he has shared that before.
All right.
More than 1 minute.
And have you, during your time with this case, and I know it's been substantial, tried to reach some accommodation with it to make up or help with this deficit that he suffers from?
So we haven't received documentation from a medical provider that he has autism spectrum disorder or some sort of assessment that says he does. We don't have record of that. I don't know that I've heard from Mr. King what kind of accommodations he would need related to his autism disorder.
I'm sorry, I can't hear two people at once.
Sorry, my doctor that was on there.
No. How long has it been since he's seen his children?
Mid-December of 2024.
So it's been approximately 12 months, right?
Correct.
Do you think it would have been helpful if he could have had contact with his children during that time in terms of dealing with the family situation as it exists?
I'll acknowledge that this seems to be very stressful. The situation has been stressful for Mr. King, and it has been a lot for him to manage, but he has a lot to focus on individually. And I don't know that the children having contact with him before he's addressed his needs would be what's best for them.
You're breaking up my train of thought. You're breaking up my ability to hear, witness. I can't represent you if you continue this.
My autism's faster. than yours.
Sir.
Stuff. Sorry.
Excuse the interruption, ma'am. You've discussed the fact that it's difficult to communicate with this man, is that correct?
Yes.
Could you describe what you're talking about?
Mr. King talks very fast, and tends to interrupt. He also will jump from topic to topic. He has difficulty answering direct questions. We've asked him like where he's staying, and he'll either say that's my business or give a roundabout kind of answer. And there have been periods of time where he's been difficult to reach. Either his phone has been shut off or he's been in jail for a night here, a few weeks there.
What are the goals that he needs to meet in order for this court to consider not giving him custody back, but getting his parenting time back?
It would be demonstrating stable behavior would be the overall goal, but participating in consistent counseling and working on whatever goals are identified and working on the goals of the psychological evaluation, doing a psychiatric evaluation, and going to parent education at Care Pregnancy Center.
And as of this point, what would you say is the progress been?
Progress.
Have his children expressed the desire to see their father?
I don't see them as much as the direct worker does, so I'm not sure.
I understand. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Ms. Berger, any questions, Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Underwood?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Ms. Thomas, any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat. All right, Ms. Thomas, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks? Any witnesses today?
I would call my client's mother.
Okay, what is her name?
Your mother,
Sharon King.
Sharon King.
Very well.
Can you invite her in from the hallway, please?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
There's a step here, be careful.
Mr. Brooks?
Mrs. King, you are the mother of my client, is that right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now, over the year or so that we've been coming to court on this matter, he has repeatedly stated that his brain tumor is a cause of his problems as seen by this court. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
What is your reaction to that?
He was okay before he had the issues or before Kirsten beat on him all the time, and I've seen it most of the time.
Do you have an opinion as to whether he has a valid claim of a brain tumor?
He showed me the picture of it on his phone, and I've had issues for 2 years before he ever got diagnosed. And my throat issue, I gotta go for therapy on.
I see. He also says that he is autistic. Do you have any opinion about that?
Well, I knew he had attention deficit disorder. They diagnosed him when he was little.
No blood test.
So the other I'm not certain about, but he's had issues like Lincoln did.
Right now, how would you describe, what kind of father is your son to his 4 or 5 children?
Could you please repeat that again? I'm hard of hearing.
Sure, I'll speak louder.
Thank you.
How good a father is he to his kids?
He was a good father, even with the first woman he was with. He babysitted her 2 kids. He was good to all kids. Hers, the second one, Kirsten's, all of them. He's been good to.
He has not seen his children in 1 year. Are you aware of that?
And neither have I. They were gonna set me up to see them, and I'm the only one living for the Lord. The rest of them's got sin in their life, like God says. Cause he shows me, he's making me an inspector of the fruit, so I know a lot.
Do you know where your son lives?
Yeah, he moved to my property after he got off of Carrollton Road. And I tried to tell Kirsten to take the $2,000 that she had at the time and was going to campground staying.
Ma'am, do you know where your son lives?
In Morenci, yeah.
Where in Morenci?
10520 Hickory Street, Morenci, Michigan, 49256.
Sir, please. Do you know where he lives today?
No, I don't have transportation. He's trying to get a trailer set up there. That's all I know.
Now, that trailer would be sitting on property that you own, is that correct?
They paid taxes on it, so it was given to them in 2012.
By who?
Huh?
You don't own the land he's putting the trailer on?
Yeah, it's still in my name, but my older son and wife and him were paying taxes at the time because I wasn't living there.
And where's the trailer?
Over to Tecumseh, and the guy that pulled it back to Adrian has got it. And the townships is holding us up on putting it in because they have targeted me and discriminated against me. And they really need to lose their jobs because they haven't cleaned the whole township up.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the quality of your son's parenting time?
Yeah, he used to wrestle with the kids. I'd seen him bathe them if she didn't want to, or if I didn't bathe them. And he fed them. He done a lot of things with them over the time until he got sick.
When the kids were removed from his custody, was that your backyard they were removed from?
Yes, it was. I told them that they needed to get a place to live, but Kirsten and him didn't have no credit, I guess, to get anything. So they come and lived in a tent there then.
Was there room in your home at that time?
It wasn't livable.
I wasn't living in my home. It was getting tore down. The trailer was.
Oh, I see. So there
That's
was.
why I had to get a loan and buy another one.
So-
Cause Dustin Junior and I found it. And he had already picked his room he wanted when he seen it in Carson City.
Where's Carson City?
I don't know. All I know is we traveled there to get it.
All right.
Gotcha.
I have no further questions, ma'am.
One moment, please. Any other attorneys have questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
None, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat. Any objection to releasing this witness from sequestration if she wishes to remain in the courtroom?
I have none.
No objection.
No objection.
No objection.
You may remain in the courtroom if you like.
Remain in the courtroom.
If you need to go, you can, but you don't have to stay in the hallway anymore.
Burl
I
Doria.
don't have a car anymore. since
That's,
I
I just wanted to let you know where you could sit.
You can stay in here.
Burl Doria.
All right.
The gentleman, sir.
Hey, sir, if you could stop at our podium on your way up and give us your full name and spell it for the record, I'd appreciate it.
Right here.
Yes.
Burl Doria. And that's Veryl. Dorio, Doriot.
Thank you. You may proceed to the witness stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
There's a step here, be careful.
Okay, Mr. Brooks, whenever you're ready.
Sir, my client has asked me to call you as a witness today. What do you know about his personal life in the last year? That may be kind of hard to say any time frame you're talking about. Well, do you know my client? Yes, sir. How long have you known him? Several years. Do you have any opinion about his quality as a father and how he is with his kids?
Could you scoot up to the microphone, please?
He
Thank you.
would read to him, he would do other stuff, but you do with the kids, which it's hard to explain, I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Any other attorneys have witnesses, have questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
None, thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Any objection to him being released?
No.
None.
You can have a seat in the courtroom if you want.
No,
Dustin King.
Thank you. All right, well, we're at 11:49. Why don't we do this? Let's take our lunch break and we'll resume our proceedings this afternoon. At 1:15, if that works for everyone.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor, thank
We'll
you.
see